Hey everybody, it's me, Alex Garcia, aka the COG, coming at you as always from comicbookclique.com to bring you, you know what time it is, the best day of the week, brand new comic book day. Got a big week of comics. As always, it seems like the weeks lately have just gotten bigger and bigger because comics, in my opinion, are just getting better and better. The industry is flourishing. All the publishers are trying to fire on all cylinders and pump out the best stuff possible. It's a great time to be a comic book fan. So let's get into it. We got a big week. Let's start off in Marvel. We're going to start off with a book I've been saying for months, probably years at this point, has been the best book on Marvel shelves. Moon Knight, number 6 by Jed MacKay and Dev Pramanik. Tough name to say, but a great artist. And guys, this kicks off, or not kicks off, but continues the story where Moon Knight has to save his friend's family from this new living mansion, right, that he just invaded on his own, and it didn't go the way he thought it was going to go. So now he has to enroll the help of, got our boy Blade back, along with a lot of other Midnight Suns types characters. Got a lot of other great characters who make their appearance in this book, some we haven't seen in Marvel in a long time. It's a very, very exciting issue. I'm loving this issue, loving this series. Like I said, it's like the best book on Marvel shelves for months, for years at this point. If you aren't reading Moon Knight, get into this book, jump into it somehow, some way. Don't be intimidated by the fact that it's changed, names. It was Marc Spector Moon Knight and, Vengeance of Moon Knight, all that stuff. If it says Jed MacKay, get it ASAP. Great series, great issue. The art was, Pramanik just gets better and better, it feels like, every issue. And Jed just shows more and more why he's great at writing Moon Knight. And just stand by for the craziness, because by the time issue 7 comes, I'm going to tell you all the characters that are showing up in this title right now. Great stuff. Keep it coming, Jed. Let's go over to the X-Men. We got Uncanny X-Men number 32 by Gail Simone, Roge Antonio, and a bunch of other artists. This concludes the this Mars attacks, so to speak, storyline. Sorry, but it's very rushed. They had to call in 2 other artists to help wrap up this story. It wraps up very quickly because we're trying to get to the next story, it seems, because now it's been set up in this story that M and Quicksilver, two other people. I'm really excited for M to be coming back, but they're going to be coming in to take over as the leaders of the New Mutants, which is announced officially in this story, and that Gambit or Rogue are going to go off on their own story. All this stuff will still be happening in pages of Uncanny X-Men, but this part of the story felt very rushed. But I trust Gail. On a whole, she's been doing a great job with this series. I'm excited to see where it goes, but it also makes me worried for what's to come, because the X-Men, there have been a lot of rumors about what's happening with the X-Men book, so stand by. Let's head over to Spider-Man. We got Amazing Spider-Man number 33, Legacy number 997. We're getting closer and closer to issue 1000. Lots of good, crazy stuff are going to happen there. We have Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness on the arts. A lot like this, like the cover shows, Pete and Spider-Man have a lot of things going on. Lots of drama, lots of craziness. The announcement that apparently it turns out Peter has a cousin out there. That cousin has shown up. Peter's also dealing with a lot of ramifications from his friends and family. So all of that is coming to a head, and it's bearing its weight on him. Joe shows again that he loves this character. He's willing to tell these crazy, immense, not just cosmic stories, but as well as just personal stories. I'm enjoying it. I can see why some people may not be, but I dig it. I love anytime they have these Peter stories, as well as how it can affect Spidey's overall world. So let me know how you're feeling about it, and let me know how excited you are about issue number 1000. Staying in the world of Spider-Man, though, because we got this Spider-Man movie coming out soon. Spider-Man Long Way Home by Jonathan Hickman and Adam Kubert on the art. This is a book that's in continuity, out of continuity. It's happening at some point in Marvel history. Cosmic Cube is out there. Punisher has his hands on it, the Hulk wants it, and Spider-Man's being sent in by S.H.I.E.L.D. to help clean up the mess. If you like Hickman, if you like Adam Kubert's art, you're going to enjoy this. Just enjoy the ride of the story because it's not set in any clear continuity. So if you're a continuity person, you're going to, like, I am, but I'm not dead set on it. But I'm reading it going, when does this happen? Don't worry about that. Just enjoy the story. The art is beautiful, and it's got Jonathan Hickman storytelling. Pretty sure you'll like it. A little bit of a history thing here. JLA Avengers facsimile reprint number 3. I picked up the variant Alex Ross cover that will connect with the next issue. We have the Avengers on this side. We'll have the Justice League on issue number 4. If you've never read this is a great time to revisit it. For me, it's just I remember the story very well. Done beautifully by Kurt Busiek and George Perez. Great stuff. I'm more than happy to repurchase this just for this cover alone. Maybe you should too. Let's over to Image. Void Rivals, number 32. Robert Kirkman and Connor Hughes on the art. Guys, a lot of people are saying that Transformers and Void Rivals are suffering from Robert Kirkman. It's not suffering. I've been saying this for a while. Void Rivals and Transformers are kind of spinning their wheels, but it's doing so beautifully. Like, this was a great issue to just kind of sit back and collect themselves, right? The characters in this book have had to deal with a lot of trauma. We have Derek and Solila dealing with basically the conclusion of the giant Quintesson war that just happened, and now they're running off with Pythona from the Cobra Law world, and they end up on this world where they're just collecting themselves, and it's great. Everyone has real conversations. It's really, really good stuff. We find out so much more depth about the world of Cobra Law that we've never gotten in any G.I. Joe book before, or at least none that I'm aware of. This was a great issue, but it's a wind back issue because I strongly believe Kirkman's trying to let Mask and G.I. Joe and books that are not as far along as Void Rivals and Transformers to catch up. And it's all going to pay off in the end, especially with the way this issue ends. Woohoo! You're not going to want to miss it. Check it out. But staying in the world of Kirkman, at least, we have a new book, Terminal number 1 by Robert Kirkman, Joe Casey, and Andy Kubert on the art, and a lot of other people who will be coming in to do the art. This is a new book, a new tentpole, so to speak, of this world. Terminal, it's supposed to be, as written by himself, for those who remember the action-packed, high-moving stories from the 90s of the X-Men, right? Where the time when it moved from the Claremont era to the Scott Lobdell era to, Executioner Song and Onslaught and all that stuff, and stand by for some Onslaught stuff. But it, for me, felt like reading early 90s original Image books like Wildcats and Brigade, Youngblood, all of those crazy books. If you want to jump into a high action world where things happen, of course, like I'm saying, really quickly, and it's just in your face and it's action packed, this is for you. I like the art, but I don't know if I'm ready to jump into a new world. I think that's another, because there's so many great worlds to explore right now. Energon Universe, the Unnamed Universe, Ghost Machine, and of course X-Men and Avengers, everything's going on. I felt like a little overwhelming to now start something new. But if this is something for you, if this is something in the world that you're trying to get into, if you're not into as many worlds as I am, then this might be for you. Doesn't seem like it's for me. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Odin, number 3, by Marguerite Bennett and James Tynion IV, with art by Letizia Canonici. Yes. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I can see why this is a miniseries. I see where it's going. It's happening quickly now. It's all right. Maybe I'm just not the horror fan it needs to be. It's cool, though. It's vicious. It's brutal. And I can see where it's going to go with this agent that's hiding out with these neo-Nazis. And Odin, the Norse gods, are messing with them. It's fine. It's okay. Maybe you like it more than me. But it's something I'm really enjoying. King Spawn, number 57. Matthew Rosenberg and Thomas Natchlick on the art. We finally have Al Simmons Spawn back in the pages of King Spawn and Spawn. Good stuff. For those of you who waited it out like I am, I see this is brand new for me. I have nothing to base this off of except for the little bit of knowledge I have of Spawn, which is mostly from 20 or 30 years ago. But I'm excited for where it's going. We have Al Simmons showing up in bloody fashion now, taking the fight to the street, so to speak. Really happy with what's happening in the pages of Spawn. I know some people are saying it took too long. For me, it took the perfect amount of time, and now the story is moving. Let me know if you've stuck around with Spawn as long as I have with the new Rosenberg run. So over to Dynamite, but a series, and I love highlighting this. This is now part 12 of the whole Thunderhawks, Thundercats, and Mumra crossover. Here we see in the future the culmination of certain aspects of the story that we've seen with the Silverhawks and what's happening with them in the future, how Monstar is in charge. A lot of bloodiness happens here, but at the same time it's more like, because this is the penultimate issue of the Thunderhawks part, so a lot of it is these lull before the storm, but I'm loving it. Cool stuff happens in this, and I cannot wait to see, because we're getting to that conclusion. It's high action. This crossover has been fantastic, and I cannot wait to see how it ends and where it's gonna go. Don't miss it. Dark Horse, continuing to read Powers 25, right? The beautiful return of Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming to the world of Powers. Here we have Powers 25. I'm really liking this series. If you were a big Powers fan like I was back in the day and were kind of waiting for some more Powers, this is very good stuff to come back to. I'm loving it. I really liked how this new detective team handles this new world of Powers, because it is a continuation of the old Powers, but there's a lot of new characters, a lot of new craziness. If you weren't a fan of Powers, this might not be for you, but if you were a fan of the old Powers, I do highly recommend you start from the beginning, because this is definitely not a jumping on issue, in my opinion, but it's still good stuff. Brian, I'm happy you brought back this series. Michael Avon Oeming, still great in the art. Really having a good time with Powers 25. Probably the best publisher of those for last for this video. Let's go over to DC, where we jump into the Absolute Universe. We have Absolute Wonder Woman number 22, Kelly Thompson, and on this, but the art was by Ryan. I want to make sure I got the name right. Dylan Snook on the art. Hayden Sherman is still taking their time coming back, which is typical for this book. This is a normal reprieve that Hayden would take for an issue or two, and we'll be back for the next arc. This arc concludes. We have, Diana having to deal with the ramifications of having her stepmother kidnapped. She has to go through saving her. I like the story. Kelly continues to look at the story, but for me, the art, I just miss Hayden's art. Hayden's art always, to me, elevates this book. So that's the only thing that was missing. The story aspects are always great. I like how it's kind of taking Diana and putting her back, making her realize, hey, you got some stuff you need to work on. Hecate is doing some stuff in her life. How she's going to deal with that, how she's going to take it, that's the road we will be on for the next issue. And it's cool to see how she gets put back on that road in this issue. Cool stuff. Well, let's check out Superman, right? We got Absolute Superman, number 21. Jason Aaron and I want to say, Rafa Sandoval back on the art. This concludes the story of Absolute Superman fighting the Absolute Shazam, who is more like Black Adam in my opinion. But hey, that's the Absolute Universe. Great action. This is such a great book. It just gets better and better for those people who were sleeping on it from the beginning. But I've been loving it from the beginning because I trust Jason Aaron. Great conclusion, but yet at the same time still setting up for what's to come. So much happens and so much is set up with the Absolute Hawkman and where Absolute Shazam is left off, as well as everything going on with Talia al Ghul. So much. Cannot wait to see where this story goes. But let's go to regular DC Universe, where we have Green Lantern number 37, Jeremy Adams writing, and on the art, who is on the art? Oh no, where's the credit page? I'm lost here, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. It's just Zermanico. Don't think this is the artist on the previous issues, but I'm loving Kyle Rayner as Green Lantern. This was a slowdown issue, right? We had a lot happen with the body horror previous issues. This one, everything slows down, but it's also like kind of like on the nose in that, you know, the character's name that Kyle's been protecting is a character named Odyssey. She's now a movie star, and the trolls are trolling Odyssey. If you know what's happening with the Odyssey movie, I'm wondering if this was done on purpose, because it feels way too on the nose. Odyssey has to deal with her online trolls. I'm all for dealing with online trolls in a respect, especially with everything that's going on with that movie. They wanted to bring it in here. Sure, why not? But it also sets up a major reunion with Kyle Rayner and a certain character. Like I said, I'm a mark for Kyle Rayner, so give me more of this Green Lantern book. But let me know how you're feeling about this Green Lantern book on a whole. And last but not least, we have the conclusion, or at least of this Swamp Thing 1989 number 91 from the Rich Vike Tom Mandrake run from back in the 80s that was never published. This is the final part of that unpublished work. It finishes beautifully. We get a lot of appearances by lots of different classic DC horror characters. I really like seeing all of that. It concludes nicely, and I'm happy that DC finally published this, because to me it was not as controversial as they made it seem to make it unpublished. So for them to finally unearth it, and in true fashion like this, giving it this facsimile appeal of all the original ads and craziness that was happening at that time, really, really cool effect. So I dig it, and I hope for those people who did read that original story, this finally completes them. I liked it, and it makes me want to reread the entire Rich Vike as well as Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Cool stuff. So that's what we got here for this week for the major haul. Thank you guys as always. It's been a pleasure to always bring about these comic news and comic discussions. So thank you as always. Make sure you stand by. Make sure you're checking out all the in-depth reviews on comicbookclick.com by our fantastic writing team. They do a hell of a job every week bringing about these great reviews. Thank you as always. Make sure you're following us on our YouTube, our Patreon, our X, our Facebook, our Instagram. We're constantly giving you the news, letting you know what's going on. A lot is happening between the Odyssey and between everything that's happening in Marvel with the MCU announcements. Let's talk about it. We're going to be talking about Onslaught very soon on the Major Issues podcast, so make sure you stand by for that. As always, guys, thank you as always. Really love doing what we're doing here. Keep print alive. Read more comics. Until next week. Later, y'all.